We are on day 2 of our workshop and sessions related to Institute Innovation Council, which is of course an initiative with the Ministry of Education of India, the MEU. I hope those who were present yesterday must be knowing, or if you are for the first time today, you must have gone through the experiences of your fellow batchmates, what is this IIC is all about. So, Institute Innovation Council will be holding several seminars, workshops and other activities, and with this we will be gaining new insights in the entrepreneurship and how to go ahead in that particular domain. So, keeping that roadmap ahead, we are here with Mr. Deepak Shukla sir, who is going to take a workshop on entrepreneurship skill, attitude and behavioral development, and he will be briefing you about all those aspects that you must be aware about for your future prospects if you are going to be an entrepreneur in the future. So without further delay, I'll be calling sir. Please, you can proceed with your session. Mr. Deepak Shukla sir. Please, guys.
Thank you, Nishant sir. And very good afternoon to Ramraj sir, to respected faculty members and all our students. Thank you for giving me this chance to express my views on a workshop on entrepreneurship skills, attitude and behavioral development. Okay, so before we are going to start, just tell me one thing. How many of you have decided your path after your graduation or after your BTech? Am I audible? Am I audible? Fine. How many of you have decided your path after completing your BTech? How many of you wanted to get the job from the PSIT? Please raise your hand. After completing your BTech? Approximate all the students are wanting the job after completing their BTech from the PSIT. And how many of you wanted to become an entrepreneur? How many of you wanted to become an entrepreneur? Only 1, 2, 3, 4. Right. As I am expecting, have you ever thought why you people not wanted to become an entrepreneur in your life? Why you people not wanted to become entrepreneur in your life? Why you people wanted to get a job after completing your graduation or post-graduation? Anybody who is having the answer of the same question? Right? I am going to tell you. The thing is that the reason behind that is that the two things is being involved for becoming an entrepreneur. The first thing is money and the second thing is time. And the risk and uncertainty is involved for investing our money as well as time for becoming the entrepreneur. And no one wanted to take the risk for his money or for his or her money and time as well. Right? That is why we doesn't want to become an entrepreneur, but just passing our graduation or just passing our post-graduation, we just wanted to do a job. We doesn't want to become an entrepreneur because we doesn't want to invest our money and we doesn't want to invest our time. Right? Because it always consisting the risk and uncertainty. What will happen if I am not going to succeed in a particular business? Right? What will happen if I am going to become the fail? What the people are saying, what the family members are saying? Right? What will happen? So these kinds of myths and these kinds of things are always coming in our minds. That is why we doesn't want to invest our money as well as time for becoming the entrepreneur. Okay? So that is one of the reasons is that. So before we are moving,
teenage boy Ritesh Agarwal is the young founder and CEO of Oyo Rooms, the fastest growing branded network hotels with a current valuation of over $400 million. Oyo Rooms does nothing out of the box but provides travelers the coolest yet cheapest, efficient and standardized budget rooms. Personally, Ritesh with his common man qualities of fierce, strong, thin and scruffy look isn't easy to find in a crowd. But mind you, this is also the look of the founder who puts in as much as 16 hours a day to make his dream come true and has been through a wild journey. Today, we talk about the success story of this mastermind team behind Oyo Rooms, Ritesh Agarwal. Ritesh was born to a business family in Orissa and attended the Sacred Heart School in Raigad, Orissa. During the growing up days in Raigad, it was all about fun and learning for him, but his ways were rather unconventional from those of other kids. His fun elements included screwing around with the computer and trying hard to find opportunities to make mistakes so that he could learn new stuff. And doing that, he gained a keen interest in software. This started with the idea of it, moved on to knowing more about it, and then the hunger just went on increasing. To quench his thirst to know more, he borrowed his elder brother's books for programming. Some of the fundamental languages like BASIC and Pascal were taught in school itself, and the rest he managed to learn from Google. Interestingly, he had started coding when he was just 8 years old, so software had obviously become his first love. And by the time he reached his 10th grade, he had made up his mind that he wanted to take up coding for a living. Later in 2011, Ritesh moved to Delhi with strong intentions of starting up something of his own and at the same time to also prepare for SAT to move to the US for further studies. But fortunately or unfortunately, SAT never happened. And he used to do nothing but meet and read about entrepreneurs, startups, businesses, and especially Airbnb. Ritesh later joined the University of London's course at Indian Business School, but just after 3 days of joining, he couldn't control his craving to kickstart his venture, so he took a day's leave to work on the project, and finally, he never went back. Ritesh always felt that budget hotels in India didn't even meet the very basic needs of a budget traveler. Hence, capitalizing on this opportunity, he started his first venture in 2012 and called it Oracle Stays. It was an aggregator of bed and breakfast stays across India. In a matter of no time, he also secured funding of 30 lakhs from Venture Nursery, an accelerator firm which brought together a bunch of storied investors to nurture startups. With sufficient money in his pockets, he started working on his newfound interest, and at the same time, he also presented his idea at the TL Fellowship, a global contest for students under the age of 22. He managed to reach amongst the top 10 winners and received a sum of $100,000 from Peter Thiel, the co-founder of PayPal and an early investor in Facebook. With this newfound confidence, he started working even more rigorously. But to his heartbreak, their business model didn't seem to be picking up, and as much as he tried to fix things just weren't falling in place. Ritesh even got Manish Sinha of Gurgaon-based Cinnamon Stays as their co-founders, but unfortunately, it still didn't help, and Manish eventually had to quit the company. That is when Ritesh went into the thinking mode and realized that the biggest pain while traveling was to find a good, affordable, and most importantly, available hotel to stay in. But like always, most of us ended up staying in a crappy place with equally crappy staff and food, which killed the whole trip. This got him motivated again to create an online yet social community to bring information about all good places together on one platform. And as a last resort, Ritesh tweaked his present business model, and in 2013, he relaunched Oracle as Oyo Rooms. The name Oyo means on your own and was nothing but an idea to create India's largest chain of efficient, young and standardized budget rooms. Later in 2014, the company raised 4 crores from Lightspeed Venture Partners and DSG Consumer Partners at a pre-money valuation of 14 crores. What motivated Ritesh even more was the fact that the company was clocking a gross bookings of more than 1 crore per month. Since then, Oyo Rooms has went on to become India's first technology-driven network of standardized branded budget hotels and has also widely expanded its presence to major cities like Delhi, Bangalore, Mumbai, and Hyderabad. Android app of Olo Rooms has over 5 billion downloads, and Yap ranks amongst the best rated apps on Google Play Store and has also been listed as one of the top 3 apps in the travel and local category. But Pritesh was one of the rare persons who not only dreamt big, but also kept a vision to achieve bigger. His success story is the right example about how young minds can build bigger dreams and make it happen for all who wish success in life. The journey of Ritesh Agarwal is truly amazing, and we hope he excels even further in his career and make Olo Rooms a global brand. One of the richest persons in the world, and
Okay, have you seen the video? How many of we have think that for starting a business, there is a requirement of a huge capital that might become an obstacle for us for starting a business? I think number of us, we are thinking that if we doesn't have the capital, then we are not able to start a business, right? So we are having a number of myths according for the business, right? For the entrepreneurship or for the entrepreneurs, that without any idea or any good idea, we cannot start a business. Without an investment of a huge capital, we cannot start a business, right? There are so many myths about the entrepreneurship and the entrepreneurs. It doesn't mean if you are not having the capital, you cannot start the business. Even you can start with a very small amount of capital, right? It doesn't mean if you doesn't have any good idea, you cannot start a business. You can start the business with a very common idea as well, right? Right now we are living in the India, and India is the most unorganized country, and there is a number of unorganized sectors as well. You can pick any one sector in the India and start organizing it. The biggest example is the agriculture sector. Agriculture sector is the biggest unorganized sector in the India. So you can organize the agriculture sector as well, right? So there is a number of myths about the entrepreneurship. There is a number of myths about the entrepreneurs that we are having, right? So one by one, we are going to discuss about these myths, these common myths. The first and the basic myth is that entrepreneurs are born, right? What we think? That the entrepreneurs are born. That is the very common and very basic myth that we are having. Suppose if the entrepreneurs are born, can we recognize that particular person? Have you recognized? Who is he? Okay, settled? So have you recognized that person? Any one of you? Who is he? Anyone? He is Roman Sally. Who is Roman Sally? Founder of Unacademy. So he is the founder of Unacademy. Please, if you doesn't want to attend the lecture, you can leave the lecture. Okay? But do not disturb. So he is the founder of the Unacademy. If we think that entrepreneur is born, the entrepreneurs are born, then we can look after the Roman Sally. He had qualified the. Have you idea about the Roman Sally? He had cracked the AIMS entrance examination at the age of 16, right? And he has cracked the civil services examination on his first attempt in 2013. Right? He can choose, after qualifying in the civil services examination, he can choose the comfort of the life. Right? He can serve the nation and he can enjoy, he can earn the plenty of money from giving the services to the nations as well. But what he did, he left the civil services in 2016 and co-founded or founded the Unacademy. And I think all of you are aware with the Unacademy. Right? What the Unacademy is doing? Basically, Unacademy is providing the online education platform, right? So this is rumor checking. The first common myth is that entrepreneurs are born, and we are not born as an entrepreneur. That is the basic and the common myth that we are having in us. The second common myth that we are having is that for doing the business, experience is required. Right? For doing the business, experience is required. How many of you are agree that for doing the business, experience is required? And how many of you have thought that after doing my, after getting the job, I will do the job for 5 times 10 for 5 years and 10 years. After getting the experience of 5 years and 10 years, then I will move towards the business. How many of you thought that? Alright, so the biggest myth is that always we are thinking that for doing the business, always we are requiring a kind of an experience. This is the biggest common myth that we are having. If we are thinking that experience is required for doing the business or experience is required for becoming the entrepreneur, then look at the face of that innocent boy. Who is he? Anybody can recognize? Any one of you? Who is he? The name of the boy is Tilak Mehta. Right? Who is he? He is the founder of Paper and Parcel. What the Paper and Parcel is doing? The Paper and Parcel is basically a logistic company, alright, which delivers the product in the same day in Mumbai. And the age of the Tilak Mehta is just 13 years when he founded the firm. It means at the age of the 13th year, Tilak Mehta is founded the Paper and Parcel, who is delivering the product within the Mumbai in the single day. Right? So if you thought that experience is required for doing the business and experience is required for becoming the entrepreneur, then Tilak Mehta is one of the person who had started the business at the age of 13 years. At the age of 13 years. Now the Tilak Mehta is planning to expand the business in Delhi, Hyderabad, Bangalore, Kolkata and Chennai. Alright? And he is expecting a turnover of more than rupees, or he is expecting a revenue of more than 100 crore rupees in just 2 years. Look at the age of the boy. You thought that experience is required. Okay? So these are the myths that we are having. These are the common myths that we are having currently. Right? Another myth that we are having, that education is required. For doing the business, it is necessary that we are having a certain kind of education. And basically all of you engineers are thinking that for doing the business, MBA is necessary. Right? If I wanted to become the businessman, if I wanted to do the business, then I need to pursue or I need to complete the MBA first. Then only I am able to do the business. Then my dear student, if you look at the success story of different entrepreneurs, then you are able to find out that most of the entrepreneurs are either college dropout or engineers. Very limited students or very limited entrepreneurs are MBA. Okay, so most of the entrepreneurs are either college dropout or they are engineers. Fine. So the biggest dilemma in our mind is that we are having the dilemma that education is required for doing the business or for becoming the entrepreneur. That is the biggest dilemma in our mind as well. So can we find out the face? Who is he? Who is he? Who is Jack Dorsey? Founder of Twitter. And he never completed his graduate. Right? If we thought that that the education, with the help of education we succeeded in the business, then we can have the example of the Mumbai Dabbawalas. Have you know about the Dabbawala? What the Dabbawala is doing in the Mumbai? What the Dabbawala is doing in the Mumbai? We didn't know about the Dabbawala. Mumbai Dabbawala. We didn't know. Lunch box. Sorry, please. Be louder. Stand up. Lunch box delivery. So only one student is knowing about the Dabbawala. Remaining all of us are not knowing about the Dabbawala. And on that we are having the movies as well. Lunchbox is a movie. Alright, what they did? They are delivering the lunchbox from your home to your offices. And they are Six Sigma certified without doing the Six Sigma certification. They are so much efficient that they receive your lunch from your home and they deliver your lunch at your office without mixing or without mesh up the lunch boxes with each other. And they are having the number of lunch boxes or the lakhs of the lunch boxes in each and every day for delivery from here and there. Right? That is why they have Six Sigma certified without doing any Six Sigma certification. So if you thought that the education is the only way that from that we can become the entrepreneur, then this is the another myth that we are having. Without the education, we can also become the entrepreneur. Alright? So Jack Dorsey is the example, Mumbai Dabbawala is the example, and there is a number of examples that you can find out that without doing graduate or without doing MBA, we can also run a business. We can also earn the money from the market. Right? The next common myth that we are having, the good idea is the only requirement for becoming the entrepreneur. The good idea is the only requirement for becoming the entrepreneur. Right? So if you thought that the big idea is only the requirement for becoming the entrepreneur, can you recognize that person? आप बताइए. Stand up. तो वहां से क्या यहाँ सुने क्या? Who is the person? Can anybody recognize that? Anyone? Sit down. He is the Pravesh Sharma. Who is the Pravesh Sharma? Pravesh Sharma is the founder of Sabzi Mandi. And he is having a very common idea. He is just supplying the vegetables from the farmers to the consumers. And that is a very common idea. And with that particular idea, he is earning millions of money. If I am talking about the Pravesh Sharma, then Pravesh Sharma is the Indian IAS officer. And he launched this startup in 2018 after doing the 34-year services in the Indian government. Okay, so this is a very common idea that anyone can supply the vegetables to the consumers from the farmers. But no one knows how to earn the money by supplying the vegetables from consumers, from farmers to consumers. So if you thought that only good idea is required, or the requirement is the good idea for becoming the entrepreneur, that is absolutely wrong. You can start with the common ideas as well. Right? I am giving you the one best example for the common idea. How many of you are well known with the Jio? I believe all of we are using the services of the Jio. Jio के बारे में जानते हैं ना? All of you are using the Jio. So what the Jio is doing? Jio is a telecommunication company, I believe, and they are providing telecommunication services to us. Right? Telecommunication services to provide कर रही है. Clear? When the Jio has entered into the market of telecommunication, approximately 4 to 5 years back, not before that, approximately 4 to 5 years back. Before that, if you consider, for the private sector, the telecommunication roads has been opened by the government in 1998 or before that, 1996 or 1997. Right? The number of companies at that time entered into the market and they make profits from the market by providing the telecommunication services to the market. Number of companies. Right? After some times or after 2000 or 2003 or 2004 or 2005 or we may say in 2010, the market becomes saturated. The marginal firm starts leaving the market because it becomes less profitable, and the biggest firm or the large firm like Vodafone, like like Airtel, like they are enjoying a state of the monopoly in the market, or they create a cartel and they are enjoying a state of the monopoly. And no player or the no businessman can think that we can earn the money from the telecommunication market. Right? But what the Mukesh Ambani has thought, that still there is a gap between the prices of the telecommunication. So they have entered into the market before 5 years at very less price, whatever we are paying to Airtel in the Vodafone. And the Mukesh Ambani crashed the market. And the idea is very much common. Already the number of firms is providing the services, already the number of firms is giving the services, right? But still the Mukesh Ambani is able to find out the gap between the price of the market, right? And at the lower price he entered into the market and the market crashed. Now there becomes only 2 to 3 or 3 to 4 players into the market. And what is the agenda of the Mukesh Ambani? He tried to shift the telecommunication market from oligopoly structure to monopoly. और क्यों शिफ्ट करना चाह रहा है मोनोपोली में? मोनोपोली का मतलब सोचते हैं ना, व्हाट इज द मीनिंग ऑफ द मोनोपोली? मोनोपोली का मतलब क्या होता है? Are you able to understand? Monopoly means where there is a single buyer and the large number of sellers. इससे क्या फायदा होगा अगर सिंगल सेलर and large number of buyers? इससे क्या फायदा होगा? What is the profit? If there is a single seller in the market. Yes, exactly. He can dominate the prices in the market. Alright? BSNL is going to leave the market. Airtel is continuously saying that we are making the continuous losses. We cannot survive into the market for the longer period of time. Vodafone and Idea merge in one company, and suppose if Airtel left, then only 2 companies are left into the market. Vodafone and Idea and Zero. Right? So it is not necessary that you are having a very good idea. Sometimes the idea is very much good, and the idea is able to destroy the entire market. Right? But the execution of idea is not good. But on the other hand, sometimes the idea is very common. But the execution and the planning of the idea is so much good that common idea is able to destroy the particular market as well. And the Jio is the biggest example for that. Right? Jio has destroyed the telecommunication market, and he break the cartel of the telecommunication market, which is jointly enjoyed by the Vodafone and Idea and Airtel. Okay? So this is another thing that we are having, that good idea is the only requirement for becoming an entrepreneur. Another common myth that we are having, that when we are going to start a business or after starting a business, soon we are having that tree. है ना? हमारे पास क्या होगा, ये हरा भरा पेड़ होता है पैसों से, है ना? After starting the business, after 1 year or after not 1 year, we are not waiting for the 1 year. After 5 months, after 1 month, after 2 months, we are having that kind of tree. We are having the plenty of money. Right? This is also a very common myth. Starting an idea, it doesn't guarantee that you are going to earn a plenty of amount very soon. It might possible some business are able to earn the plenty of amount in their initial days. But it might possible your business can take 1 year, 2 year or 3 years for the establishment. It depending upon the expansion strategy. It depending how you are looking towards the market. It depending how you are dealing with the customers. It depends on each and everything that you are doing with your business. So it doesn't guarantee that if you are going to do a business, that will leads to wealth or that will gives you the plenty of money at the very soon. At least there is a golden rule for doing the business. At least you should wait after starting a business at least for 1000 days. कितना साल होता है कि more than 3 years? Yeah, approximately 3 years. Approximately 3 years. So at least after starting a business, we have to wait for 1000 days. But we are not having so much patience, so that we are able to wait for the 1000 days. Right? Soon we wanted to become the wealthy people. And if we see that after 6 months, after 7 months, the business is not profitable, then we are not trying to rectify the things. We are just stopping the business and we are start doing the other thing, or we are starting the searching the job for us. That is the biggest problem, biggest common myth in front of us. Okay. The next is common myth is that if I am doing the business, then all the things and the responsibilities are under my shoulders, on my shoulders. It means I need to do all the things. That is another common myth that we are having. Okay, so that is not very correct. It might be possible when you are starting your business, it might be possible that for few days you need to take care of each and everything. When the business is small and you are able to do that particular thing, you are able to do or you are able to do all the things for your business. But as the business is increasing, as the business is growing, start growing, you need to number of people in your organization, so that you are able to delegate your work, so that you are able to transfer your work to another people. Right? Single-handedly, you cannot do anything. Right? No one can do it all alone. So these are the common myths, right, that we are having for entrepreneurship, or that we are having for the entrepreneurs. Right? The biggest thing is that from where it has been coming. ये सारे myth हमारे दिमाग में आते कहाँ से आए? यहाँ पे देखिए मैंने 2 फोटोज लगाई. Are we able to identify what these photos or images are saying? So always remember that, my dear students, these all common myths have been preconditioned by our parents and our society. These are the preconditions in our mind by birth and from the childhood. Right? Always preconditions. What the family is saying? But I start doing study. Why I am studying? Why I do study? Because if you are not studying, then you are not able to find out a job. So why I try to find out a job? Is it mandatory? Is it mandatory for us to find out the job? Why I need to complete the engineering? Why I need to complete the MBA? For getting the job, it is mandatory for us. Right? Why this is mandatory? Because in our society, people becomes respectable when he or she is able to get the job after his or her engineering degree, after his or her MBA degree. That is the preconditioning of the society. Right? But in India, if you go to the western part of the India, a state is there, Gujarat. Have you aware with the Gujarat? है ना? सबसे अच्छी इकोनॉमी गुजरात की है ना शायद, है ना? What is the preconditioning in the mind of the people who are living in the Gujarat? That we are not going to do the job. Right? Always we are going to do my work, or we are going to do. Right? They are not afraid that they are going to earn the plenty of money, or they are not afraid that if they are losing something. What they wanted to do, they wanted to do their own work. 10,000 मिलेगा, 20,000 मिलेगा, 25,000 मिलेगा, it doesn't matter. Their basic requirement can be fulfilled with that particular money. बस इतनी ही उनकी नीड है, इसके अलावा उनकी कोई नीड नहीं है. That is why they are not afraid for anything. Right? So that is why the people of Gujarat is focusing on not on the job. The people of Gujarat is focusing on the business. Right? And if you move in the North India, right, like the state Uttar Pradesh And if you ask to the family members and people who are living in the Uttar Pradesh, then what we have preconditions: get a degree and get a job. So these are the preconditioning that we are having from the very childhood, from our family or from our society. So these are the preconditions, right? So these are the preconditionings in our mind. So what is the solution? Can anybody tell us what is the solution of the preconditioning? What is the solution? The solution is how to overcome it by developing the entrepreneurship skills and attitude and behavior. The only solution is that, right? If I am talking about the skills of the entrepreneur, can anybody tell us which type of skill is required for becoming the entrepreneur? Which type of behavior is required? Which type of attitude is required for becoming an entrepreneur? Risk taker. That must be the one quality. Patience. That may be the another quality. Dedication. That may be the another quality. Anyone? Learner. Learning is the continuous process. I believe if you are in the job or if you are in the business, you need to keep on your learning. Okay? If the learning is stopped, you are going to finish your career. And after doing your BTech, you have to do the lots of certification in your jobs as well. Right? So learning is a continuous process. So it doesn't going to be stopped. So the one term that I student is saying, risk taker. So whether we need to take the risk or it is a calculated risk. What do you say? ऐसे रिस्क होना चाहिए, कैलकुलेटेड रिस्क होना चाहिए, बताइए। तो रिस्क तो ऐसा कुछ भी ले सकते हैं ना, कि जा करके कहीं पर पैसा लगा दिया करके, है ना, कुछ भी शुरू कर दिए। So will it be the fruitful? Will it be the fruitful? आप बताओ, अपना खड़ा हो जाओ। हाँ। What he is saying right now? What he is saying right now? What? So risk taker doesn't mean we can take any kind of risk. Always remember, when we are doing the business, we are always taking the calculated risk. हमेशा आपको किस तरीके की risk मिलेगा? Calculated risk. It means before investing our money in a particular business, before investing our time in a business, we need to ensure that what return that we are going to receive after 1 year. Because we are investing or we are taking the risk of our money, we are taking the risk of our time as well. Money can be earned, but time cannot be returned. Right? So remember that before starting any kind of business or before starting any kind of entrepreneurship activities. So this cannot be come in one day. We need to develop these skills slowly and slowly. And you have told me the 3 skills that are required for becoming an entrepreneur. You haven't told me the very basic skills that we are required for becoming an entrepreneur. That is the very basic skills that we require for becoming the entrepreneur. And what is the skill? Hard work. The hard work is the only things that differentiate the unsuccessful entrepreneurs from the successful entrepreneurs. The entrepreneurs which are failed, right? The biggest reason in the fail of that entrepreneurship is the lack of hard work of the entrepreneur, right? So this is going to be differentiated with successful entrepreneurs and unsuccessful entrepreneurs. And while you are becoming the successful entrepreneurs, It is the requirement of your business where you are going to establish your business. It is the requirement of business at the initial stage. You should devote your all the time or your maximum time for the business. You should give your maximum effort for the business. Alright? And which becomes the later at the later stage their habits for the whole world. है ना? अभी आप लोगों ने रितेश अग्रवाल का वीडियो देखा है. Have you seen the video of the रितेश अग्रवाल? At the starting of the business, the Ritesh Agarwal is used to do the 16-hour working at the establishment of the Oyo hotels. देखा ना आप लोगों ने? So he used to do the 16-hour working. So it means the basic requirement or the basic skills that you require for becoming an entrepreneur is the hard work. Without the hard work we cannot succeed in our business. Without the hard work we cannot establish a very good venture. Alright? Once Srihar Shankar Singhania, while taking while taking the lecture in the convocation of Entrepreneurship Development Institute in India, has quoted that success comes only with 10% of inspiration, but 90% of perspiration. Where the meaning of the perspiration is the hard work. And most of the time, we are waiting for the ideal situation in our life. But that ideal situation never comes in our life. Most of the time, we are waiting for the ideal situation in our life, but that particular ideal situation will never come in our life. Okay? So it might be possible that the story or the video or the images of Ritesh Agarwal or the Tilak Mehta might inspire you for becoming the entrepreneurs, but that will work only 10%. For becoming the successful entrepreneur, you need to 90%. The remaining of the 90% is your hard work, or you need to devote your time endlessly for becoming the successful entrepreneur. Alright? And remember one more thing, that it won't be happen in one day, but it will happen in one day. एक दिन में नहीं होगा, लेकिन एक दिन जरूर होगा. Alright? Always remember. So the basic quality or the basic skill for becoming an entrepreneur is hard work. Without the hard work, we cannot succeed or we cannot become the successful entrepreneur. Okay? So that is the basic quality. The second basic quality that you have told me, what you have told us? Risk taker. So risk taker that we have already discussed, that always we should take the calculated risk. It is very much necessary for taking the risk for the calculated risk. We have to take the calculated risk. Why we have to take the calculated risk? Because we are investing or we are taking the risk of the money and risk of the time as well. Money can be earned, but time cannot be earned. That is why we need to take the calculated risk. Okay. The next basic quality or the skills that we require for becoming the entrepreneur is the desire for high achievement. Okay. Always keep the desire of the high achievement in yourself. This will probably solve your all the problems of your life, and even all the problems of your business as well. If you are not having the desire of or the desire of high achievement, you cannot do anything in the life. Right? Remember that particular thing. If you look at the desire for high achievement, have you known this person? Who is he? Who is it? Anyone? Sunil Bharti Mittal. Who is the Sunil Bharti Mittal? Exactly, he is the founder of the Airtel. Right, so we are taking too much time for telling that he is the founder of the Airtel. I think he is a very common man. We need to recognize him. Right, he is the founder of the Airtel. Alright. So can anybody tell me the background of the Sunil Bharti Mittal? Sunil Bharti Mittal is the son of Satpal Mittal, who is the member of parliament from the Indian National Congress. 3 times he is the member of parliament from the Ludhiana. Okay. So if he want, he can make his career in the field of the politics. He can make his career in the field of the politics because his father is the politician. Right? His father is the politician. He can make his career in the field of the politics. But he is having the desire for high achievement. That is why he doesn't take the path of his father. He doesn't choose his career in the field of the politics. He wanted to do something different. That is why he started his business at the age of the 17th year. He borrowed 20,000 rupees with her father, from her father, and he started his business of making cycle parts in Ludhiana in 1976. Alright? So always you are having the desire for high achievement. And here he doesn't stop. He doesn't stop here. He is having, or he were very first to his credit. Right? It has been written over here. First push phone, telephone, that has been launched by the Sunil Mittal. First cordless, launched by the Sunil Mittal. First answering machine, launched by the Sunil Mittal. First fax machine, launched by the Sunil Mittal. So always having the high desire in yourself. That high desire or desire for high achievement not only is going to solve your daily life problems, but also it also solve the problems of your business as well. It might be possible a phase in the business can come where you can face the challenges in your business. But if you continue with your business, then soon after you are able to find out the solutions as well. Solutions of that particular problem as well. Alright? So always having the desire for high achievement. The next is highly optimistic. Another quality that you haven't told us. Highly optimistic means this is the sign of the entrepreneur that they are always thinking or taking the things positively, and they are highly optimistic towards their business and towards their problems as well. They are highly optimistic. So always become the highly optimistic. They knew whatever the problem that they are facing in the present day, that will not continue in tomorrow or the day after tomorrow. So that is why they are having the patience as well as they are having the optimism in his or her mind. Right? So that is the another quality or the another skill of the entrepreneurship as well. That we need to, or they are highly optimistic. Right? Can we recognize the face? Who is he? Can we recognize the face? Who is he? Now we have recognized who is Henry Ford? The founder of Ford Motors. Henry Ford is the founder of Ford Motors. And before establishing the Ford Motors, right, he failed 2 times. Or 2 automotive companies that Henry Ford established before the establishment of the Ford Motors have failed. But he is optimistic. He was optimistic. He never thought that he failed 2 times in establishing the automotive companies, so he is going to stop the establishing the 3rd automotive company. He established the 3rd automotive company, Ford company. At the current market valuation of the Ford company is $188 billion across the world. Right? So he is highly optimistic. So the another quality or the another specification of the entrepreneur is that they are highly optimistic. Whatever the problem they are facing today, they are having the view that this problem is not going to continue in the future. Soon after, this problem is going to be resolved, and they try to resolve these problems. Right? They try to work on that problem. Okay? So they are highly optimistic. That is the another skills that we need to learn. Okay? The next one is, the next basic quality is foresight. What do you understand about the foresight in terms of business? In terms of the business, upcoming opportunities or thinking for the long term. Next, have you know that the environment is the changing dynamic process, and the business environment is also a dynamic process. Dynamic means it keeps on changing. Right? It depends upon the external as well as the internal factors. External factors that we cannot control and internal factors that we can control. Like, right, for example, political situation in the country is the external factors that we cannot control. So what we need to do? We need to adjust our business according to the political factors in our country. Like the taste and preference of the customers. It is an external factor. We cannot control. Right? So what we can do? We can prepare the product according to the taste and preference of the customers. Okay? So always remember, if I am talking about the entrepreneurial skills, then the entrepreneur is foresight. They are able to see the future. They are able to see the future of the economy, and they are able to predict where the economy is shifting, right? And what is the future of a country, and what is the future in a particular sector as well. So they are able to foresight that particular thing as well. So that is the biggest quality of the entrepreneur. That is the biggest skill of the entrepreneur. For example, if you are looking in the today's scenario of the India, the government is continuously pushing the automobile sector into the electronic vehicle sector. The government is continuously pushing the electronic vehicle, the automobile sector, from diesel and petrol towards the automobile sector. And it might be possible from now onwards, after 5 years, after 7 years, or after 10 years, you can only see the electric vehicle in the roads as well. Okay. So an automobile company is able to see or is able to sense the changing the political or changing the business environment for his or her company. It means, if I am the owner of the Maruti car, right? So what I can do, I can shift or I can start the production of the electric vehicle as well, so that I am able to survive in the market for the longer period of time. Okay, I should start the production of the electric vehicle. So that we need to sense as well, where the economy is shifting, or where the government is pushing to the economy. That we are able to sense. That is the foresightedness of the entrepreneur. So if we are saying that foresightedness, are we able to recognize? Who is he? A very popular face. Who is the Narayana Murthy? Who is the Narayana Murthy? Narayana Murthy is the founder of Infosys. He establishes the Infosys in 1981. Okay, he founded the Infosys in 1981. In spite of having the degree of electrical engineering, he was able to see the future of the software development in the India. That is why he pursued his career in the field of the computer engineering. Alright? And establishing the Infosys in 1981. So he is able to see that future in the software, not in the electrical engineering. That is why he establishing or he shifted his career in spite of having the degree of the electrical engineering from electrical engineering to computer science and establishing the Infosys in 1981. And today we are very well known with the Infosys. I think Infosys is the regular recruiter in our conversation. I think. Can you aware with this logo? Elvel. Ever remember the name? What Elvel was manufacturing? Scooters. The two very popular scooter brands of the scooter was Vespa and NV. Right? They were so much popular at the age of the 90s. But they are able to sense that the taste and the preferences of the market is going to be shifted from scooter to motorcycle or from scooter to bikes. Rahul Bajaj is able to sense that. That is why they have slowly and they had started slowly shifting the production of scooters to the motorcycle. Parallelly, they are producing the motorcycle as well as the scooters. But what the Elvel is thinking that my scooter is so much competent that the scooters are able to compete with the motorcycles in the market. It means that the owner of the Elvel is not able to sense the changing taste and preference of the consumers in the market. But soon after, they have realized that the future is for bike, not for scooters. So they have shifted their production from scooters to the motorcycles. They started the production of the Freedom bikes as well. Have you remember the Freedom bike? Have you remember the Freedom bike? But it was too late. The entire market has been captured by the Bajaj and the Yamaha and Hero Honda. The entire market has been captured by the these three motor vehicle companies. And soon after, they shut down their business. So it means it is the basic characteristics for the businessman or for the entrepreneur to have the sense of the market, to have the foresightedness, where the economy is shifting, where the business is shifting, what I can do and how I can survive for the longer period of time in the market. Alright? So that are the another quality that we can have. The next one is innovative. That is another quality that a businessman is having. Are we able to tell the difference between the invention and the innovation? What is the invention? What is the innovation? What is the difference between the invention and the innovation? Sorry? What is the innovation? Discovering a new thing is an invention. That is absolutely right. And as an engineer, I think all of you are well aware with the invention. Right? But innovation, if any invention is not able to find out the place of the manufacturing, that particular invention is useless. Innovation is the continuous process of adding something new in the existing product or for new product. That is the innovation. For the business, invention is not necessary. For the business, innovation is necessary. Remember that. For the business, invention is not necessary. For the business, innovation is necessary. Right? And innovation can be of different types. Can be of different types. It means the first type of the innovation is product innovation. First type of the innovation is product innovation. Product innovation, it means we can add something new in our existing product to meet the requirement of our customers, to satisfy the requirement of our customer, alright, or we can discover a very new product in the market, so that we can enjoy a state of a monopoly in the market, alright. For example, you can look the current situation of a mobile phone from 1998 to 2022. From the 1998, we can only store the 200 phone numbers in the mobile phone. We cannot store more than 200 phone numbers in the mobile phones. We can store only 20 messages in the mobile phone, not more than 20 messages. And we can only receive the calls, and we can only make the calls. Nothing else we can do. With the help of mobile phone in 1998, 1996 or 1997. But right now, in 2022, we can do each and everything, whatever the function that has been performed by the laptop, except a few functions we can perform with the help of our mobile as well. Right? And the storage capacity you can see, it is up to 128 GB as well. Right? Okay? So there is a no limit of the storage in the mobile phones right now. So it is the product invention. Depending upon the requirement of the customers, we are upgrading, continuously we are upgrading our product. And if we are not able to upgrade our product, soon after we realize that we are going to be thrown out from the customers, from the market as well. Right? The biggest example is the Nokia. Have you remember the phone of the Nokia? Remember the phone of the Nokia? The biggest example is that they are not able to do the innovation in their product. They are not able to do the innovation in the product. Alright? Another example of the innovation or the product innovation is that you can see the passenger cars in today and what we were manufacturing in 1980s. Look at the model of the Maruti 800 in 1980 and look at the cars that are coming in 2022. Alright? So this is the continuous innovation in the passenger cars. Right now we can drive only at the earlier stage we can drive only the cars, and right now we are having the comfort in the car as well. The companies are taking care of your comfort as well in the cars. Okay, so that is the product innovation. So either you can add something new, either it is a characteristic, either some kind of quality in the product, you can continue with your product innovation, or you can evolve a very new product, so that you are able to enjoy the state of the monopoly. Are you aware of this thing? This is the lock of the bikes. And these locks are known as the spy locks. They are solar powered, GPS, right? GPS enabled lock. And what are the specialties of these locks are? They are keyless lock. They are sensing you with the help of Bluetooth of your mobile phones. Right? Not only they are sensing you, they are giving you the theft alert if anything is happening with your bike. They are giving you the crash alert to your family in case of crash of the bike. And most important thing is they are solar powered. It means you don't need to recharge or you don't need to charge that particular lock sensor. So this is the product innovation. This is the entire new product that isn't available in the market. Only this company is manufacturing this kind of lock. So the company is enjoying a state of monopoly and having the full control over the prices of the product. Right? So you can find out the new product, or you can add on to something new features into the existing product as well, so that you are able to survive for the longer period of time into the economy or into the market. Next is the process innovation. So, for the process innovation, look at the video. practice the video of the Maruti Suzuki plant which is located in Gurgaon. Okay. So if you are able to see that particular plant, the entire plant is fully automated. Right? The robots are working in the plant. Automation is there in the plant. Right? Suppose if the Maruti is not doing the automation in their plant, are the Maruti is able to fulfill the requirement or fulfill the demand of the customers in India? Tell me. Will Maruti able to fulfill the demand of the cars, passenger cars in the India if the plant is not going into the automatic? If it is manual. Alright? So if I am talking about the process innovation, the process innovation is that if you are able to reduce any kind of process or evolve any new process, so that particular process will able to reduce the cost of the company as well as increase the production capacity of the firm as well. So that is known as the process innovation. Alright? So right now the automobile sector is depending upon the automation and the robotics for taking the more and more production from their plants as well, so that they are able to fulfill the demands of the cars in the company, cars in the country. Alright? So that is the process innovation. So that's all from my side. Thank you very much. In case of any question. In case of any question, if you would like to ask any question. No questions at all. Few more things. How many of you are seeing the Shark Tank India? देखा आप लोगों ने? What you have seen from there? The number of innovative ideas, and few have started with a very little amount of the capital as well. Alright, and slowly their business is growing very rapidly. Fine. So it doesn't necessary and it doesn't mean for starting a particular business you need a very huge capital or huge amount of capital. You can even start with a very low amount of capital as well. Alright, you can start with a very common idea as well. That idea is already persisting in the country or in the market, but you can execute the same idea in a very effectively and in a very efficient manner. It doesn't need for becoming an entrepreneur that you are having a unique idea and you can have a number of or the heavy capital. You will have a heavy capital. Before that, if I am talking about the early age, it was very much difficult for the entrepreneurs to raise the capitals from the market. But right now, it is very much easy. There are number of angel investors that you can find in your city as well, which are ready to invest in your company or which are ready to invest in your idea as well. But remember that either your idea must be unique or your idea or the execution of idea is very good. Then only they are going to invest in your company. Right? What are the 6%, 5% who are sitting in the Shark Tank of India? They are just listening the idea and evaluating the idea, and after evaluation of the idea, they are investing their money in that particular idea, in the idea. And they are making the profit by investing the money only. Okay? So don't worry about that if you don't have the capital, you cannot start the business. There is a number of angel investors that you are able to, that you can find in your country. Currently, the government is going to support you. There is a lots of schemes that have been launched by central government as well as the state government to support the entrepreneurship, to boost up the MSME industry, to start the startup as well, Startup India, and there is a number of schemes that we are having. Alright? So you can start with a very small and parallelly this small can become very big.